So I have two things that I would like to bring up and have your reflection if you feel it's appropriate. When I contacted you initially, or Sangha, to gain admittance and the Zoom link, I said the reason for my wanting to attend is first I wrote peace and then self-realization. And as I'm wondering if I really want self-realization, I'm in all honesty, I want peace, and I'm practicing self-inquiry as best I can. I've been listening to a lot of the Satsangs. I just started attending several weeks ago and reading Who Am I? And I find myself coming back to the inquiry. But then I say, maybe I'm just not ripe enough. And is it appropriate? Is it an integrity for me to practice this way? And I feel when I'm here, and my heart is here. And as best I can. I always have to put that as best I can. And that's one. And the other is a few days ago when I was sitting in silence and had my eyes closed. What I saw was an eye. I saw an eye, like direct, like an eye. And that, for many years, I've found if I'm lying in bed, quite often and my eyes are closed, I see my body as if from above. So that's, but then a few days ago, what happened after I saw the eye, like Ramana's, Maharshi's, like image started appearing as well. So I would love any reflection you have on what I've shared, if you like. Thank you.
I could only can comment on the last one. The first one, I don't know whether there was a question or just you were saying that. So the first one you said was that you are doing inquiry and then you do your best and you're not sure whether this is for you or not. Is that right?
Yes, more or less. But the piece is, not, is it for me, like, a dress doesn't fit, kind of a thing, but is it in integrity? I'm just monitoring or tracking my own capacity to do the self-inquiry.
So what are the obstacles in your self-inquiry, if we can go through that?
My mind. Hello. I mean, the other day, it just became really clear to me how my thoughts, I mean, this is what I saw. I saw like my thoughts just kind of send out vibes, and those vibes collect matter, and then they appear to me, so my fear vibes, if there's something in me that is resonating fear about something, it just sends it out. And then it comes back to me in real life, it's like, yeah, okay. It's like I send out the vibe goes out, and then it becomes very solid and appears real. And then, so it's like, it's exhausting. It's my process. So that's an obstacle. My thoughts, my mind.
Let's talk about this because this is a very, very important question. Now, when someone is doing self-inquiry, and look, people can have different understanding of self-inquiry. But to me, self-inquiry means self-attention, because you inquire who is having thoughts. And obviously you think, I'm the one who's having thoughts. And then the next question you ask yourself is, who is this I? And you sit with this question, which is actually self-inquiry, that who is this I? The moment you go and ask this question, who is this I? Nobody answers, because there is no person sitting inside who is answering. Any answer to this inquiry, who am I, is wrong, because it's coming from mind. And mind is nothing but thoughts, not my thoughts, your thoughts. Yes, in a way they are your thoughts because you know them. I'm not listening. You are listening. Now, who is listening in you? That is what who am I? The moment you question this, the whole construct of this thought and this mind starts breaking down, because it is one thought, I thought, and then it leads to so many thoughts. You thought, we thought, they thought, past thought, future thought, worry thought, fear thought. And you pointed out very rightly that these thoughts makes the world around us. First a thought arises and then the word comes according to those thoughts. If you are fearful, those fears come true. If you are attracted towards someone, those things comes to you. Irrespective whether those things, when they come, they bring peace, happiness, or they bring misery. But it is all those thoughts are the starting of the matter. Actually, thoughts are also matter. Mind is matter. It is a subtle matter, but mind is matter. The only thing which is not part of matter is self. Self in all of us is not part of matter. We know air, we know wind, we know space. It is more subtler than any of these things which our mind knows, which we understand. And that is the source of everything. So if we abide in source, source is peace, because there is no thought, no noise, no matter, nothing. Nothing is peace, no thing. To tap into that no thing is self-realization, nothing else. When you say, I want peace, but I don't want self-realization, who is deciding so much for you? That I want this, I don't want this. I has to go. This I sometimes feels that I am in peace when there are less thoughts or thoughts which you love. And then you say, it is beautiful, it is nice, I'm in peace, I'm in love. Understand that this whole world everyone has an ego. And not everyone is unhappy all the time. It's not possible. So people have phases, they are happy, they are unhappy. So ego also enjoys its happiness in its own way. In things, in beings, in attraction, even in fight, feeling proud that I have killed someone or I have superseded, I have won. Ego competes. So that also people call it happiness, enjoyment. Indulgence is enjoyment. That's why the whole world is indulging in different things, different senses, food, watching, all these things. So that happiness, how that happiness comes from ego. Ego subsides for a moment when it achieves, attains, gets what it wants, and then it's so nice now. But then it is like a constant noise. I'll tell you, the person who is full of ego will never understand the truth, because they have no clue there is anything outside this. The more you are a seeker, you go deeper. Even a single thought looks like a noise. You don't want any opinion, any argument. You don't become escapist, you become realistic actually. You understand everything, how thoughts are moving, how things are happening. Now, what you are talking about, seeing a third eye, seeing Ramana Maharshi, this is because that mind is becoming more subtle. It's seeing in an abstract form what things are, and it is reflecting, it's projecting out to you because you're so engrossed in these things. It's giving you these experiences, but it's all still the part of mind. But there's no harm in having any type of experience. We know that mind can bring bad experiences, mind can bring good experiences. So your mind cannot decide whether self-inquiry is good or bad. I have to say self-inquiry is bad for your mind because it will get rid of mind. So mind can even say, oh, this is not a good path for you, go for something else so I can survive longer, Because it survives longer, let's talk about, there are so many paths. There are paths in which you follow a religion and you never challenge this ego. It will always be there. In organized religions, ego stays because you belong to a community, you have pride of that community, you work for that community. You have already separated yourself from the rest of all what around us is. We have created a wall around us, so the ego stays, survives, well survives. Methods like in yoga, in postures, in exercises, someone is doing, doership is there. That is why, I take some yoga class. I should not call myself a very good yoga teacher, but yeah, limited. I'm doing it for many years for patients and others. And I always say that just watch how the body is moving with instructions and not be a doer. Don't take it to your ego that I have done it, yes, and look, it's beautifully, I've done it, now I can stretch. Body is stretching. Take your body as a third person. Whatever your name is, that name is of the body. You are nameless. Now thought comes whether this method is good, should I jump onto another method? And that is why seekers keep changing methods, teachers, instructions. And that way the ego survives longer. And then it loves, let's do this, let's do that, So if we still stay in stillness and look everything from that silence, when I say we should look everything from that silence, silence is, you can't go beyond it. It is just silent. It is nothing. But mind will not understand what is silence, what is nothing, what it is. So let mind do what it's doing. But don't be an accomplice to mind. So many people who are not seekers, who are not doing practice, they don't understand. They think mind is there. No separation is there. But when you start doing any practice, you start noticing that something you is separate than mind. Because that's something you can watch, all thoughts coming and going. And how the reactions to those thoughts, responses to those thoughts is happening within you. Sometimes I can say that in initial steps, it could be just your ego, watching thoughts, reacting, not reacting. Then recede further. Go back, recede, and then see there is this impartial, neutral observer. Not a person, nothing. Actually, it doesn't exist for so many people because they have no time. It needs practice to be that impartial observer which is observing. When you look from there, that is self only. You can call those moments when you are a pure observer as spasmodic self-realization. And with constant practice, it becomes effortless because it is natural. Now you know what you are. That is self-realization. And self-realization is eternal peace. Now your question to me is, you want peace, but you don't want self-realization. I don't know how you will achieve it. If you achieve it, then let me know.
Okay. I'm not saying I don't want it. I guess the underneath that is, I'm afraid I won't get it. So underneath that.
Yeah, that's just a mind. Mind says all sorts of things. This I is mind only. When you say like this, I want this and I don't want this. Who is this I? This I needs to be challenged all the time. And I can be very strong. And I'll tell you, when a self-realized person speaks from using the same word I, and the other one who has done no practice says the same I, it is the tone, the way you speak makes a big difference. That I is so different. I is that source also, and I is that ego also. As Bhagavan puts it beautifully, that this small I goes and the bigger I comes, or I goes and I comes. Just to differentiate that. From where you operate from that higher level. We can call that self as higher level because it's a higher consciousness, it's pure consciousness, it's raw, organic, natural, undifferentiated. Or whether it mixes up itself with I thought and then speaks. And we all know in others, when other people speak from ego, we feel that this man is so egoistic, he's so unreal, or doesn't consider everyone together. He's not inclusive. He only talks about I, me, mine. And we all can feel. But the problem is, when it comes to us, we don't know that. We think we are right. We are not egoistic. You put this question to others that we have to get rid of ego. People will say, I don't have any ego. Because ego cannot know itself. To know ego, we have to move a bit backward and watch this trauma unfolding within us.
Thank you. Thank you.